We're going to learn tonight about the relationship with ourselves and how that creates the relationship with others and how that creates the relationship with abundance and health and everything else that we create. Spiritual unions, love, sex, it's all open for tonight. So whatever you really want to bring forward, this is the time to do it. And I want everybody to remember that it always goes back to you. Anything about relationships goes back to the relationship with yourself. The first thing that we are to start with is that we are coming together with the commitment and the intention to connect with the highest information and knowledge from the world of all and unlimited possibilities with the highest understanding possible. It is our commitment to serve ourselves, others, the world, the universe, and the atmosphere in this way. I want everybody to come together, no matter when you are listening to this, to agree to the shift and the self-creation of the self that we will be discussing tonight. So we do so claim I am divine love around that. I want you to ask yourself and hear the first answer, be in the present moment and just listen. Do you feel good about feeling bad about yourself? Because if you do, you're obviously going to mislead yourself, right? Because the highest thing you can do is to feel good and feel happy and feel joyous, most of all about yourself and therefore your life and the world. But if your definition of feeling good is feeling bad about you, you're screwed. So we are bringing into our conscious intention that when I say I am choosing and committing to feel good and feel love and feel positive about myself, I mean that in the highest form of the definition of feeling good, which is being the God of the creation, which I am. And so it is. I want everyone to claim the flow of energy tonight. Energy comes in, energy rolls out. Energy comes in, energy rolls out. And that energizes us always. So we are claiming the symbol and the formula around all of that. This came from one of the people in the community, Warren, and I thank him for this. I was directed to have everyone do this tonight, so you're following this direction. I direct my pituitary and pineal to open wide to receive the flow of all the light and all the knowledge, and I direct my pituitary and pineal to open wide to give the flow of all light and all knowing into my creation of myself, to myself, by myself. This, guys, and these are Warren's words, this looks like recigive in the context of the inflow of universal light and knowledge and the outflow of our light and knowing into our creation. So we're claiming the symbol, I am divine love, around all that. We are invoking the new statement, which I am going to state at the top of the show. I am committed to one happy, healthy, prosperous whole, and that makes me happy. And it's easy and simple and quiet and complete, now and consistently and forever. Woohoo and yippee. All right. Big time up, this thing about genetic poisoning. And I want to remind you now what the channel brought in for us about genetics is that energetically it's an agreement. I agree to share this idea with you. I agree to identifying with that thought, with that limitation, with that perspective. So genetics is an agreement that we move into that can affect us physically in our DNA. This is the greatest, what I'm going to give you here is the greatest belief handed down that is poisoning us genetically that we have entered into the agreement with. I can never be God. So we've talked about this before. This is on a much more expanded level, up, down, sideways, and in and out and in between. So we are coming together now to create balance and health within us mentally, physically, spiritually, chemically, cosmically, emotionally, and dimensionally by claiming, I am my God right now, in this moment of now. I am the God that creates me. I am the God that thinks my thoughts, chooses my perceptions, and takes my actions. I am the God of my energy, and so it is. I accept myself as the authentic God that I am right now. That is the unconditional love of the God of me that I have for myself. And so it is. I'm moving on. Okay. All right, guys. So here is what they woke me up with at 6:30 this morning. Here we go. The relationship you have with yourself is the relationship you have with everyone, the world, and the creative process. So let's just throw some things out here. So do you respect yourself? Is that the relationship you have with yourself? Do you love being with yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you think you're safe and know that you create your own safety in this world? Do you get off on yourself? And I mean that in the purest sense of the word, of course. Do you celebrate yourself? Do you know that you know? All of these things represent the relationship you have with yourself. And anything you fall out on that is disempowering with yourself is how you are creating your relationship with the world, you in it, and literally the creative process itself. So if you're saying, for example, I'm not someone who celebrates me, then when you go to exercise your creative process, it will be through the facade, through the perspective of someone who doesn't honor themselves and is trying to create. So we're claiming the simple and divine love around all of that. Tonight, the channel is inviting you to meet the new you. The old relationship with yourself does not work anymore. Who do you want to meet yourself as right now? And that goes for all of us, yours truly included, that there are parts tonight that we will be asked to let go of, embrace, and choose to shift, so that the relationship we have with ourselves is the most powerful, turned on, happy, joyous, full of creation relationship possible for us to create. We're claiming the symbol, and I am divine love around that. It doesn't make any sense, guys, that you can just play a new part, choose a new perspective, a new trust, a new joy, a new, daring. But you can, and you must, and this is your authentic relationship with your soul to create. Let me say that again. Your authentic relationship with your soul is to create. And the relationship you create with your soul is the authentic you. So what does that equal then? Authentic relationships with the world. When you have an authentic relationship, you and your soul and you, then you have authentic relationships with the world. And what that means is we're walking away from the definitions of the good little girl and the good little boy, because there were a hell of a lot of limitations in those definitions. So, if you like a glass of wine, claim it. If you like sex, claim it. If you like a limited income because you don't have to work as hard and you don't have to worry about paying all this stuff, then claim it. That's authentically who you are. There is no good or bad, right or wrong about who you are. And the more you can accept yourself and move into beautiful, incredible, divine love, unconditional love for yourself, the more exponentially you will create. Because you'll be free. You don't have to judge yourself anymore. So we are claiming, I am divine love, and invoking the symbol around that, invoking the new statement and the masculine, feminine, and child statement. And just as a reminder, the masculine, feminine, and child is a direction of our brains to say yes to this. For example, share is authentic. We have been taught that share should be Pollyanna. And Pollyanna can be authentic, but most of us are trying to be Pollyanna out of fear or out of age-old religious beliefs, and that's not who we really are, guys. Authentically own yourself. And they gave me the film E.T. E.T. was authentic. He created a way to get what he wanted. In the midst of a lot of challenge, and what could have been fear, and what could have been, I don't know how, and what could have been, I don't even know the language, I'm an outsider, nobody's going to help me, blah, 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 whatever you come up with, right? He was authentic to himself. He said, I'm getting home, period. So let's claim that we are home. We are home in the authentic selves and gods that we are.
Thank you for listening to this sample from one of Dee Wallace's enlightening webinars. If you liked what you heard and would like to listen to the complete webinar, click the link in the description below. This is but a small sampling of the many awesome downloads, archived shows, enlightening webinars, and amazing free offerings available at www.imdwallace.com.